Hi, I'm Denise, and how I came to the Dharma. I grew up in the Southern Baptist Church, but by the time I was in my 20s, I was one of those kids who sat in coffee shops reading Nietzsche as opposed to going to the mall. I was kind of a lightweight philosophy geek, but by that time, I didn't quite believe in a Christian worldview, but I couldn't go to the far opposite end either. I always felt that I could see both sides of issues and that ideologies were often too extreme. One of the books that struck me, though, was The Way of Zen by Alan Watts. I was interested in the koan practice of muddling over riddles as a way of meditating on the elusiveness of truth. So I'd been interested in Zen and Buddhism, and I'd tried meditating off and on. But what really changed things was when my husband fell ill. In 2013, he was diagnosed with a very serious cancer, and I was faced with a possible major loss of someone very important to me. So I found myself casting about, trying to find a way to live with this situation that not only felt comforting, but that also felt true. So, truth being elusive to me already, I mistrusted religion and I didn't want to retreat into a comfortable myth. Was kind of hard to find at the moment, but I remembered reading a Renaissance philosopher, a man named Michel de Montaigne, and an essay that he wrote on mortality. I remember finding his words both true and comforting. One single sentence that I remembered rang true to me: give place to others as others have given place to you. Now, for me, this laid bare two important truths. The first one is that as I die, many other beings die at the same instant. So the fear of dying alone was lessened. And then the second one was that the course of life must include death, that without death there cannot be more life. I'm reminded of soil, this sort of fertile mix of an amalgam of dead plants and animals that all kind of form together into this new material. And I'm also reminded that when I die, someone else is born and the procession of life and death continues. So again, being something bigger than myself was comforting. So remembering that made me, for some reason, in 2013, return to Buddhism as a source of wisdom. So one cold Sunday morning, I made my way to the Dharma Center. And as I approached the door, I slipped on a patch of ice and fell right down on my rear end. Um, a man quickly helped me up and into the door. Everything was fine, but something about that moment felt transformative. As I sat in the room quietly and already a little bit sore, I thought differently, and I felt a lot of comfort in that shared silence. Um, After the meditation was over, I went into their little library in the back room and checked out a couple books. Took them home and found pretty much what I needed in every paragraph. The basic tenets of Buddhism are not fancy and they're not supernatural. They boil down to these two things: everything's impermanent, and we're all going through it together. And just as Montaigne had written, I was really comforted by these basic truths that we are all together as one giant being that embraces a constant flow of life and death within itself. So my husband made it through the cancer, but I know very well that staying connected and grounded in these truths is crucial for my own well-being. So I meditate every day, and I have cultivated a really close relationship with the Dharma Center. I'm really grateful for the wake-up call that my husband's illness brought to me. And the truth and the grace of Buddhism continue to ground me every day.